Dr. APJ Abdulkalam is a role model for many people in India and abroad. In a seminar conducted in Anna University, Chennai, he put forward two questions in front of educationalists. The first question is, what are the influence of teachers on students to make them enlightened citizens? Second question is, what is the contribution of universities and colleges towards the national development? He also explained what's the purpose of university education, and he tells that the purpose of university education is to transform students from a child's nature of asking, give me that, give me this, to a leader's nature of asking, what can I give you? He also informed the importance of capacity building in students so that when they leave the college they have these capacities. The first capacity is research and enquiry. Second one is capacity for creativity and innovation. Third one is capacity to use high technology. Fourth one is capacity for entrepreneurial leadership. And fifth capacity is for moral leadership. He says that these 5 capacities creates an autonomous learner, a self-directed, a self-controlled, lifelong learner who has the capacity to owe the respect of the authority, at the same time questioning the authority with an appropriate manner. He also emphasized the importance of teachers being a role model, and he also explained a story about his mentor or guru, his role model, Professor Sadish Dhawan. He sums up and tells the objective of university or colleges is to create enlightened citizens to contribute towards the national development. And he explained that an enlightened citizen is the one who equipped with technical knowledge as well as moral values. Please listen to him.
Sure.
Thank you.
See, my lecture, I have selected for you engineering education and challenges for national development. Now, I ask myself, what is the purpose of a university education? A college student comes at the age of 20. He comes to you. What is the type of what will you give him? What you will give him? So my view is like this. You take a child. All of you have children. Child. As soon as child is born, always child cries, isn't it? Cries. He says, "You give me, you give me." When it grows, also child says, "You give me," isn't it? You hear, "You give me, you give me." Child will say, "You give me." I hope you realize that child always cries and demands, "You give me." So when the child grows, at the age, say, he becomes a teenage child, tells father, mother, "You don't interfere with me. I will do myself everything." Teenager, when the child grows to the teenager, I can do everything. And now after the teenager, next comes a young fellow, young man and young woman. They have crossed beyond 20. These 20 years, 25 years people, they started saying, no, let us work together. Some of them say, let us work together. Child says, "You give me." The teenager says, "You don't interfere with, I will do it." And this fellow, young fellows started saying, "Let us do it together." There is another category. When they graduate from the child, from the teen, from the young, to adult, grown up, a leader. The leader's quality, what should be is, what I can give you, what I can give you. That means child said, "You give me." The leader says, "What I can give you." Can you understand this? I hope you understood. That means when the boy or girl comes to you engineering colleges, apart from teaching a beautiful trigonometry, beautiful algebra, beautiful biotechnology, beautiful history, beautiful commerce and beautiful area, you have a responsibility as a teacher, as a vice chancellor, to transfer the young man or young woman from his nature, you give me, to what I can give you. What I can give you. That's a leadership. The day our children, grown up young man and woman, started saying, what I can give you, that means they have come from the fantastic universities, fantastic engineering colleges they have come from. That what I can give you, that is the mission. That's the real mission of engineering colleges and the universities, to transform the childish nature you give me to the leader's quality, what I can give you. Understood? So this is the top one mission for all our engineering institutions, wherever they are. So other problems you all forget. Whichever environment I am living in the engineering college, whichever the network I live it, can I making the child, when I the boy or girl going out of my institution, have I transformed them, apart from technology, transform them what I can give you. So this is the first message I want to communicate to you. Next is very interesting. Number of vice chancellors were there with their professors, and I asked two questions. Please note these two questions. So I asked the vice chancellor, tell me, you have teachers, what are the influence of teachers on students to make them enlightened citizen? You have to define what is the enlightened citizen. Enlightened citizen means he is equipped with technology and equipped with the moral values also. It's a combination. Then you get the enlightened citizens. So this first question. The second question was contribution of universities. He is representing university, like Balaguru Swami representing a huge university. Contribution of universities and college towards nation's development. Students should have the following capacities. That is very important for you, because you should know when they come to you, as I told you that leadership quality, when they come to you, you should ask yourself, what is the capacity students should have, what I should do in the engineering colleges. First and foremost, capacity in research and enquiry. Research will come only if you question research and enquiry. Second thing is capacity for creativity and innovation. That means when the student goes out of your institution, he should have a capacity for creativity and innovation. And capacity to use high technology, because technology doesn't wait for you, it grows. Whatever happens today, the technology goes on growing. Yesterday it was for information technology. Today it information communication technology. Yesterday there is microelectronics was there. Today microelectronics threatened by nanotechnology. When nanotechnology and ICT combined, a new science is emerging. So and with that biotechnology is added, then you find a highly intelligent human being is possible, and the society highly become intellectual and automated sometime. So this type of society will happen whether you like it or not. Capacity for entrepreneurial leadership. Capacity, that is, you have to teach. Your engineering colleges, when you are teaching, you don't teach them to take only government jobs. So that's not real teaching. Teaching gives an opportunities, capacity for entrepreneurial leadership, so that he gets the confidence like any other country, developed world. The student, when he goes out, he gets the confidence, I can start a business. I can join with few or three, I can start an entrepreneur. With venture capital we are getting, and he gets that capacity. Finally, creativity, moral leadership. You ask yourself. 245 engineering colleges, including Anna University, do you give capacity for moral leadership? These 5 kinds of capabilities are most central for economic development and nation building. Economic development, nation building. If we develop in our children these 5 capacities, in our students, if we build these 5 capacities, we will produce a certain kind of a learner what we call autonomous leader. He can be called autonomous leader. That is vice chancellors, principals, and professors' task is to when the student comes, you are creating an autonomous learner, a self-directed, self-controlled, lifelong learner who has the capacity to both respect authority while at the same time is capable of questioning authority in an appropriate manner. This is Dr. Slater's point. And having created autonomous leaders, we will be well on the way to creating autonomous adults, the kind of adult that a democracy most wants and needs. So if you got this message, I am a very lucky fellow to think more about it with objective of creating enlightened citizen and practice to contribute towards national development. Now the next point, I thought I should talk to you role model. Role model, what is a role model? Role model is the embodiment of what I told you, the 5 capacities. That is, that student wants a teacher can give capacity for research and enquiry, capacity for creativity, innovation, capacity to use high technology, capacity for entrepreneurial leadership, capacity for moral leadership. If the five you give, you become the role model. The teacher becomes the role model. Vice Chancellor becomes the role model. Professor becomes a role model. Now you can ask me, can you show me a role model? You can ask a question suddenly. Kalam, you spoke so much. What is role model? Can you give me an example? Now, fortunately, I am blessed with to have in my life influence more than decade a role model. So I am going to talk about him, the role model, who can give you all these 5. He gave us all these five areas of creativity. This role model was Professor Satish Dhawan. He was my role model. I will never forget. He's a guru. I will call him guru rather than role model. And he influenced me in 1974. He gave me a project. Some of you have heard, some of you read my books, but some of you may not know, so I thought of repeating it for a role model specification. He was at that time chairman, Indian Space Research Organization. And he called me. It represented few thousand engineers, few thousand staff people, but 20,000 people. He called me in 1973. He said, Mr. Kalam, I am giving you a project. This is the money, this is the time schedule. I am going to support you. The whole Indian Space Research Organization will work for you. Your job to make a rocket system, a 4-stage rocket system, put the satellite in the orbit, near Earth orbit, in 7 years' time. He gave it 1973. And he told me, this is the job, I will support you. Your project definition he has given, money he has given, schedule he has given, support he has given. Now you succeed with your mission he gave. So I was astonished how he selected me. But he has selected me, I have to do the job. Boss says you do that. So I went on doing. Lot of people, many of are here. The people who worked here, many of the people are sitting here, like Dr. Sudhana Pillai, and many people, and Swaminathan. They are all sitting, they are all partners with me. 1973 we started the work. And day and night we worked, because first time we are building a rocket system, put a satellite in the orbit, Rohini satellite in the orbit. And 1979 came in, everything was ready at Tumba, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. We moved the total system to Sriharikota. Now it's called Professor Satish Dhawan Space Center. He is no more, and his name celebrated with Sriharikota Satish Dhawan Space Center, Professor Satish Dhawan Space Center. So we moved there. At that time, Short Center it was called. And we went to the launch pad, hundreds of systems, 45 subsystems, all number of software packages. The whole launch is automated. T-minus 8 minutes, 8 seconds. 8 minutes. See that we went into launch mode and T-minus 24 hours the whole countdown started. It was 17th July 1979, and we went into the countdown. We came T-minus 1 hour countdown for launch, T-minus 30 minutes, T-minus 15 minutes, T-minus 10 minutes, T-minus 9 minutes, T-minus 8 minutes, you put it on the computer, because it has to check 600 parameters in the launch system, the rocket system, satellite, humanly impossible. They put the computer will launch if it will check over from T-minus 8 minutes onwards, then computer will, if everything is okay, computer will launch or computer will put a hold. So exactly at T-minus 8 minutes it started, computer took over, he put a hold, don't launch, it said. Computer said, don't launch. So immediately I had experts behind me, 6 experts, top fellows who worked lifetime, what is happening, and they were in the computers. I see in front of me what is happening. My display says don't launch because second stage in control system, it's 4-stage rocket system, control system, there is some problems are there. Look at the problem. When you looked at the problem, experts say there was a leakage in the second stage control system and we cannot be launched. Computer faithfully reported don't launch. My experts and myself, we discussed. Within few seconds we took a decision, because we have got sufficient fuel, oxidizer, even though there is a leakage is there, 50% margin more, we will took a decision with the experts. I took a decision to launch it, override the computer. I took it manual and launched the rocket system. T0 rocket took off. So beautiful. At 100 seconds, everything was all right. Exactly when the first stage separated from the second stage, instead of rocket going steady and carrying the satellite, it went on spinning. Then I realized, my team realized, we lost the system. Within few seconds, the SLV-3, which has to put the satellite in the orbit, the whole thing went to Bay of Bengal. It was a failure. Now, how to manage the failure? This is the university, professors and engineering colleges, you should know how to manage the failure also. So immediately, when the failure occurs, your tiredness becomes too high. So after a few days, day and night work, you got this situation. So I went to my room. But there's a knocking. My professor Satish Dhawan comes there. He calls me, there's a press conference. 6:30 we launched, 7:15 there's a press conference. You come attend the press conference. I am going to do it, you come with me. So we all go to the press conference and I go there. There was a lot of people like you sitting there and full of questions. How you put 20 crores in the Bay of Bengal, one fellow said. So a lot of criticisms were there. And naturally, it's after all people money, you are spending the people revenue, such questions were there. And some questions also, what did you learn, some people asked. So finally, the press conference concluded with Professor Satish Dhawan, the leader. He said, we have launched and we have failed, but we got a lot of information. I am going to give all the success to all the support to my people, and next time within a year we will succeed, he said. Now, did you see what happened? I am the mission director for the launch. I am the project director for the launch. The failure responsibility rests with me. But here is a leader, chairman, Space Commission. Here is the leader, Professor Satish Dhawan. He comes there, he takes the total leadership for the failure, he absorbs it and he goes off. And this is what I have experienced in my life, and this is what I have learned. Here is a leader, when you fail, and he takes all the problems with him and he keeps you going to work. That next 1 year came and everything was ready. The SLV-3 was the launch pad. Satellites were checked, T-minus 8 minutes. The rocket took off. First stage gave the velocity, second stage gave the velocity, third stage gave the velocity, fourth stage gave the velocity. I realized immediately the satellite will go in the orbit. We put it successfully in the orbit. I announced the intercom to all the station, the SL3 E2 has successfully put the satellite in the orbit. There's an ovation throughout the country. There's joy throughout the country. But what happened on that day? Again there was a press conference. Exactly at 8 o'clock there was a press conference. Because the people from throughout the country, abroad, they have come to know the press and media. And there, Professor Satish Dhawan told me, Kalam, you go and conduct the press conference. When I failed, he conducted the press conference. He took all the failure. When I succeeded, he gave to me the success to my team. This is real leadership. This is a real role model. Did you understand what I'm saying? If you understood this, if you understood this, your engineering colleges all will be successful. Reason is, how do we manage the failure? In life, particularly the education institution, it's a high tension business. That guy you want to pass, not pass, you want to have a distinction to succeed in life. So therefore is the competitiveness, the environment of competitiveness. Teaching and the competitiveness have to go work together. Here only I felt this role model. I thought I must talk to you, because this is a combination of what I was so far telling, and this one I can give an example in life. I have learned a lot, I have studied a lot of books. I have Harvard books, MIT books, and our own IIM books. None of them tell you how to manage the failure, the incident what I have narrated. So you have to create leaders. You have to create the leaders, sterling leaders. That chap, he has the boldness should be there, that a failure occurs, he takes it, professor takes it, the vice chancellor takes it, and protects his students. Then only you are the leader. Then only you are the successful institution.